Hi there, thanks for tuning in to Make This Happen, where we discuss an idea we've been dying to see come alive. Every week, my friend Alex Gonzalez and myself, Jay Yee, will bring a product you never knew you needed. Now, pirates. I've been watching a lot of One Piece, and I love pirates. Today, I found out Skull and Bones. Oh, shoot, I forgot to put you back onto my headphones. Give me a second here, and you can talk now.
I like One Piece pirates because they're all unique. Because they all ate a fruit. And no one can have their power until you kill that person with the fruit power, and then you find that fruit again because it respawns.
Is that how it works? I looked that up today. I wasn't sure if that's how it worked or not.
Yeah. There's a lot of similar powers, but there's never going to be a power like yours unless there's the clone fruit.
That all being said, I do want a pirate anime. I guess it would have to start as, I guess it doesn't have to start as manga. It could just be a straight up pirate anime without those powers and all that stuff. I want
without all the fun.
Dude, have you listened to the pirate story? It's awesome. Like the actual real historic pirate stuff and like the backstabbing.
I played some Uncharted. Yeah.
There's a great new documentary series on Netflix. Shoot, I wish I could remember the name. It had a weird long name. Like it had like a 5-word letter name, as Netflix does. But it's a documentary series that starts at the start of the golden age of piracy. So right as Captain Kidd dies, it kind of starts around them with the whole Sam Bellamy story.
Mm-hmm.
But it pretty much tells you the rise and fall of pirates during the golden age of piracy, where you learn about Sam Bellamy, you learn about Charles Vane, you learn about Blackbeard, Edward Teach, and you learn about Calico Jack and Anne Bonny, right? They're like the names of pirates that most people, if you go up to them, they're going to know, do you know who Blackbeard is? They're probably going to say yes.
What if we made these warlords or just people of the sea that we have to, their pinnacles?
How I want this story to be told is closer to, it's hard to talk about this stuff because you haven't seen any of the stuff I'm going to mention or got into any of the stuff, but I want it closer to how Black Sails does it, or like I guess Treasure Island the book does it, where it is the pirate story. This is historically true what happens during this anime, but we are going to take liberties with how things happen, certain story points, and maybe even some time stuff. We could warp some of the time to make it so some characters meet that probably couldn't meet because they died before the other person was even an adult. So we'll introduce Captain Kidd even if he died when Charles Vane was a child, type of thing.
I want it. Okay, what if we do it like this? If it's an anime and it's historical figures, why don't we make them battling an epic battle? So like ship battles where they're all meeting, even though they didn't, like you said, they didn't exist in the same timeline. What if they do? What if they're all meeting and not all the time, but it follows different main characters, Game of Thrones style, but in an anime, and then the fight scenes come up Castlevania, where it's really dramatic. There's water going everywhere. Eventually, at this point, since it's an anime, these ship fights are going to last multiple episodes. In the beginning, everyone's shouting. There's rain falling. By the time the battle's over, everyone's soaking, just sopping wet from all the splashes.
I don't think it's gonna be like a One Piece 1,000 episode anime. I think it's definitely gonna be more like One Punch Man, where it's 12 episodes. There it is. That's the season. That's the whole thing, type of thing. And then maybe a season 2 to introduce something else. So I think what it's gonna be like is like you said, the battles are gonna be epic, where it's gonna start off with a cool tactical, over the top eagle vision view of the ships fighting each other out. Of course, you're going to get in close on the deck of the captain shouting turn to port side, put up the fucking sails and then calling out shots, and then you'll do the counter. They're like, oh, I wish you saw Black Sails, where they're like looking through the telescope, like they're turning around. Why are they turning around? They're like, oh, he's trying to broadside us or broadside us or whatever, and then they'll have to like counter that. You'll have that whole thing, and then there's this great scene in Black Sails where the accountant of the pirate ship is doing his first raid of a prize because they're short-handed, and so the accountant has to go, and he's like, I don't do this. This isn't my stuff. And then Billy, Tom Hopper, I forget, he has a funny name in Game of Thrones. He's Samwise. I know his name's not Samwise, but I call him
Samwise
Samwise.
Gamgee.
Samwise Gamgee's brother, who's like super burly and buff, and Sam's like, that's why I left home and became a brother of the Watch.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
he gets
him.
killed by a dragon.
Melted, absolutely melted.
Yeah. Anyway, Tom Hopper's like, he puts his hand on the accountant's shoulder. He's like, everyone has their first time. And then, but there's a great
Does
scene.
he die?
No, he survives. And then he has a very drastic cast change in season 2 in Black Sails, and it's super disappointing because I like that accountant. I kind of like the other guy, but he's a bigger of an asshole in the second season. But maybe that's why that guy left. Anyway, so right before the pirates like they throw these like grapple things so they could swing from boat to boat, right, and then put up planks and stuff and draw it in closer. But right before that moment happens, you just see all the pirates like kind of fidgeting. Some of them are praying, some of them are like messing with their pistol, some of them are like just like pumping themselves up, and then you see the accountant, he's just scared as fuck. And I think that moment is such a great moment in the TV show, and I think that could be a lot of this anime, is just showing like how the other lower people on deck feel about this type of stuff, where they're scared, they have to get prepared, they could die. And I think some characters, like in the first episode, will like, I think it'll be cool to follow. There's like the main character, but then there's all these other side characters that we do Game of Thrones style around and follow what they're doing on their ships and stuff. But I think there is one ship, and you get to learn their crew, that main hero's crew, a little bit more than you would on any other pirate ship, where you don't really find out about their crews, but you learn your crew a little bit. And maybe this will be the fictional character we add for the anime, like the main character is a fake pirate we make up for this. And you learn about their crew. In the first episode, that one of the crew members that's super likable just gets killed on a prize, like when they're raiding a merchant vessel or whatever. They mess up, and it's like a super gory, tragic death where they just fall, die, and then that's it. That's all you get of that character, and you never see him again, obviously. Or maybe you do. Maybe this is like a fantastical pirate show, and they do come back up as like zombies from the sea or whatever. But I don't think that'd be on until like later on. I feel like I do want this first season to be very piratey. I don't want it to get into the Krakens and like all that stuff. Maybe there'll be a curse with like gold or something, kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean.
So there'll be a captain, there'll be a first mate, and he's going to be equally as cool as the captain, but not as cool.
Quartermaster, but yes.
And then on top of that, then there's going to be other pirates that served with the captain on a ship, and you don't know what happens to the ship till later, but something did happen, and everyone beats around the bush.
Maybe what it is your main character served under, let's say you served under, I want to say Horn of Gold would be kind of boring. No, let's do it. Let's say you work under Horn of Gold, and so you get to get out on your own, and have your own crew after leaving Horn of Gold's crew. For those that don't know, Horn of Gold kind of built out Nassau for the pirates and made the pirate town. Like, he's the guy who kind of started it and really brought it up from nothing. And he was a legendary pirate, but eventually people like the pirates started losing kind of faith in him because he kind of just started living on Nassau instead of going out to sea and taking prizes. And eventually, his arch nemesis steals his boat, so he doesn't have a boat to go anywhere in anyway. So his crew just starts leaving him and whatever. But still revered him as the founder of the pirate city of Nassau. So maybe you did used to serve under Hornigold, and famously under Hornigold also was Blackbeard, who served under Hornigold and was great friends with Sam Bellamy, who's also a very important character that we could also be in this game, in this anime as well. And so, yeah, you branch off, you start your own crew. Blackbeard starts his own crew. You have your arch nemesis, Charles Vane, out there starting his own crew now. And then it'll be a lot of story between you and Blackbeard hanging out, doing cool like duo runs together
with applicable flashbacks.
Yeah. And I think it'd be cool to like look into your time on Hornigold's ship with Blackbeard. Maybe you see Blackbeard for the first time after a few years or whatever, and he's gained this infamy over the seas. And you meet them, or they meet over the course of some time, and maybe, yeah, if we Game of Thrones it, you'll go from your character, the main character. I keep saying your character as if this is a video game, but the main character to Blackbeard, to what's happening with Hornigold in Nassau, and what's happening with my personal favorite character, Jack Rackham, Calico Jack, and what's going on with him and Anne Bonny and all that over there as well.
Sounds good. I don't have any knowledge, so I'm like, yeah, you could be making up people, and I don't know. I'm trying to think of all my pirate history is Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland.
Yeah.
Which there's actual characters on the boats that you're named after. So
yeah. I also
One
think
Piece is pretty faithful in terms of names.
I think it would be cool as well if they were like an episode or two where they get marooned or stranded on an island, and it becomes kind of like
that'll be the low budget anime episode. So that's where there's not a bunch of different. Well, it's easy for anime because our artists are just going to create the ship really, really well, and then maybe an island or two.
Yeah, and I think for the island one, or this episode, this 1 or 2 off, like maybe it's a 2-episode special, there's going to be a lot of backstabbing between crew members you've grown to love. Like, I think a certain crew member there's going to be the cool guy, there's going to be the jackass, there's going to be a really charming dude, and maybe it'll be like Lord of the Flies situation where they start kind of killing each other off and then they're saved. And like some of your favorite characters might die during these 2 episodes or whatever.
Okay.
From, like,
I like that. Yeah, maybe
one
one of them was hanging by a thread and you just never knew it.
Yeah. And then they get back to Nassau, they're saved, and the main character has to regroup. And eventually maybe the whole end goal is to stop Vane from, maybe Vane is out looking for some kind of big prize, and then at the end of the season you find out that big prize is cursed, and like there's like some, and then that's when the series starts getting
spirituality,
like a little bit more fantastical with it, and then we can start adding monsters in season 2.
Yeah, and pirates that use the monsters.
and then
not like in an actual way where they control them, but I'm thinking like maybe they bait the waters for sharks, or they
Megalodon or whatever it's called,
or they have like a specific lamb out for the Kraken, so they throw that lamb out there and the Kraken shows up.
Maybe we really twist some time stuff and we bring in like Moby Dick, like a Moby Dick like character, and he's like hunting a great white whale or whatever.
But because it's a man, since it's an anime, he's super buff, and his spear just goes right through a ship, just choosh.
Yeah,
and then he pulls
or he has
it
like
back.
a harpoon at the end of his ship that just fucking launches and destroys entire ship. That'd be pretty cool. Real quick, I do want to talk a little bit more about just kind of like the vibe of the anime. I kind of want it to feel
Dark,
I
right?
guess you already said it, where it's like Castlevania. I think is the closest thing I could think of. Where
Yeah,
it's
so it
like,
feels realistic while not being kind of like centered around realistic ideas or concepts.
yeah, it's like it's more grounded, but then during combat, it's just bonkers crazy, things that are not humanly possible,
Yeah.
and very gory. I say that now, but Invincible has been out now, so
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
there's another gorier show or cartoon, in my opinion. But I think Castlevania is also cool, where they have like moments of really good comedy, and so does Invincible. So maybe
And
like,
the
we could just
art, and I
look
think
for it, yeah.
the character design and the ornate costumes really would work well, because I think pirates also have a certain amount of flair when it comes to what they're wearing.
Yeah, especially the romanticism of pirates and how they dressed has
Mhm.
definitely made it look cooler than what they probably actually wore back in the day. They probably didn't look as cool as what we
No, I think
think
their
of
shit was
pirates
all
today.
stained up.
What's up?
I think their clothes were all stained up.
Oh yeah, they probably smelt really bad.
Oh,
Very,
could you
very
imagine they
gross.
just get blackout drunk off rum and then they wake up to do their chores, but they still wearing the same clothes.
Yeah,
It also
not
has
just
the
that,
rum.
but like they shit themselves all the time because of the food and water that they're drinking on these long voyages. They like get sick all the time. It's not a fun time on those
Yeah,
months and months
not
of
for me.
ships.
Pirate's life is
Um,
not for me.
and they like STIs and STDs are a huge thing, because once they get to land, what's the first thing that a lot of pirates do? They go get laid, and they're probably not washing very well. So
If
lots
only
of stuff
washing
happening down
could
there.
stop those kinds of island STIs and mainland STIs, and pirates are responsible probably for bringing different things to different countries. I feel like maybe one island or one country had just one STI, and now they have two.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess let's go Rooster Teeth. Make this happen. I guess they have Ruby, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. If you have any suggestions or products you'd like to see talked about, feel free to write in at @poundgames@gmail.com. We have a Patreon. If you'd like to join the @pound family, come find us at patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. Patrons receive episodes 2 days early, meaning make this happen gets to your ears that much sooner. If you enjoyed our show, take a second to give us a review. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Store, and more. Catch you guys next Sunday with Alex's idea.
We're going in on air fryers, y'all.
Air fires?
Fryers.
Air fryers. Got it. Do you have one?
Yes.
No.
It's not mine though.
No.
But it is. But it isn't. The person who owns it does not want it back, so it's mine.
So it is yours.
So to say.